Is this a blessing or a curse or just some other shit? Like pulling up on Sunday night just to tell you I apologize and mama, you was right. Got whole.
What's good, y'all? This is your boy Jack, back again with another video. Today I'll be giving my 100+ hour review of the AYANEO Geek 1S. But before we get started, Sony tripping with these new prices for PS Plus starting on the 6th of September. They did some scumbag type shit and they put the announcement in a blog. I hope they will reverse course, but they tripping. It seems like it's going up across the board. I think like $20, and that ain't it. PS Plus ain't even that good for them to be charging what they charging. I went with this last uptick because, again, you know what I'm saying, economy and stuff like that, but nah. But let's get started. Back to the review. I'm not sponsored by anybody, and my opinions are my own based on my own extensive testing with this device. Full disclosure, I'm not Benchmark Billy, and this is not that type of review. Furthermore, I'm just some old retired Navy IT guy on the internet that loves his kids, basketball, tech, and gaming. So if you want to go argue with your mammy, because I'm not here with that, and go Navy. So with that being said, please like, share, subscribe. It really, really helps out the channel. Hit me up in the comments and let's get into it. For reference, as of recording this video in August 2023, I've kept the device on for 7 straight days after I unboxed it, and I have had 2 hardware and 1 software issue thus far. The device locked up on me 3 times when trying to play Ratchet and Clank, and then I encountered a vibration motor issue as well. Both issues were resolved with a full reinstall of Windows, which sucked ass. And the RAM issue was also allegedly resolved with an update. This update upgraded the RAM from 6400 to 7500 megatransfers, but I was unable to test it because I sent it back. So I can't comment on the booster performance or lack thereof. Also, during that time, I performed 20+ restarts and code boots after various software updates and whatnot for testing purposes. I've encountered some standard Windows jank, but that's pretty much par for the course. If you've ever owned a Windows device, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you purchase this device or any other Windows handheld, your mileage may vary. So here's looking at you, Microsoft. All right, let's talk about this screen. It sets the stage for the entire device experience, excuse me. The 7-inch 60Hz 800p screen is bright, vibrant, and very responsive. Though I wish it was at least FreeSync enabled, it's fine because most games don't require it anyways. But in my humble opinion, 7 inches is too small of a screen, especially coming from the 8-inch screen in the A1 Pro, which I think that 8 inches is the sweet spot for handheld gaming. But let's move on. The full-fat 7840U APU can play everything. You can check out the videos on my channel and throughout this video for some gameplay. AAA, all the way down to retro titles, look and feel great on the Geek 1S. The Hall effect sticks and shoulder triggers, D-pad, ABXY buttons, programmable buttons, and all functions and feel good. They're very responsive and have a nice clickiness to them. The fingerprint scanner is a nice feature, but it doesn't work all the time. The speakers are very good and have a nice punch to them. Definitely on par with the Ally and better than the A1 Pro. You can also tune them to your liking utilizing the Realtek software suite in the Windows Store. And you will definitely need those good speakers or headphones because the fans are loud as fuck. They whistle sometimes because there's not enough exit airflow in my opinion. It definitely stays cool, and I've had no issues with thermals other than it getting a little warm around the back, but it's loud. And obviously you can adjust the fan curve to find your sweet spot between thermals and acoustics. But I was just commenting on the out-of-box experience with a 20-watt baseline TDP in most games during my testing. iSpace 2 is also very good. It's responsive and it's pretty easy to navigate. Adding games, customizing them, and adjusting the device is pretty seamless. I've never used the first version of iSpace because this is my first AYANEO device. So in comparison to the Steam Deck Ally, and A1 Pro software, I would rate them as follows: Steam Deck, Ally, Geek One S, and lastly, A1 Pro. Also, sometimes the language translation for certain things are a bit off, but for the price, I'm willing to forgive that a bit. The weight, ergonomics, cooling system, and build quality and overall feel of the device is really good. And at the time of this review, the official AMD drivers have been released, but they're questionable at best. Hopefully AMD will get their head out their ass and start getting these drivers ready for prime time, especially with Starfield dropping really soon. I cannot stress enough, Windows is not, I repeat, not ready for prime time. And this device as well. There's a lot of jank, but if you're patient and willing to tinker a bit, then you will have a great experience. The software is probably the only area with these handhelds where it can struggle a bit. But the good thing about software is that it will mature with updates and get better over time. The lack of kickstand sucks, in my opinion, but again, I'm willing to overlook it because of the multiple USB-C ports and the price. It adds to the usability of the device. All of the USB ports don't support charging. Only the left top USB-C port and the bottom USB-C port support charging. Though it comes with USB-C dongles, I wish it had one USB-A port instead of all USB-C ports, or they could just add the USB-A port. It's just a nitpick. And obviously you can buy a mini Re keyboard mouse combo and a USB-C cable with video out and be good to go. The battery size, which is 50.25 watt hours, is clutch. In my testing, I was able to get well over 2 to 2.5 hours in most games at a 20 watt TDP at 50% brightness. You can tweak the settings to get more battery life in most cases. So I'm not going to knock it too much. Also, I'm not going to knock the 16 gigabytes of RAM because of the early bird price, but I sure wish it had 32 gigabytes in the base model to future-proof it, and sometimes it struggles a bit to do some internal screen recording because of the lack of RAM. It struggles a bit, but you can't really complain for the price. Now, if you close all your programs and stuff, and you're willing to actually, close some things down, you can kind of get some light productivity done if you hook it up to a monitor, via a USB dock. So let's move on. What's that? You asked for my opinion on the Geek 2S? Well, no problem. I got you. A few things that I would personally change to perfect this device outside of the obvious change, like an upgrade to the latest 8000 series APU with official AMD drivers at launch, please. I repeat, at launch, please. The people can wait, and stop putting out devices every 33 minutes. Good Lord. Anyways, add FreeSync to the screen and make the screen at least 8 inches. Make the base configuration 32 gigabytes and use the latest LPDDR6X RAM clocked at the highest mega transfers available at launch. No updates, please. Keep tweaking and trying to perfect your cooling solution. Cooling, shiny new tech is always king. More intake and exhaust venting, please, and thank you. Use 1 terabyte of base storage versus 512 and keep the 2280 NVMe variant because games are getting larger in size. Use a bigger battery, at least 60 to 65 watts. I don't think that anyone mind a slightly heavier device in exchange for some more battery life. And like I said before, swap one of the USB-C ports for a USB-A port, or just add a USB-A port and add a Switch OLED style kickstand on the back. Keep growing your business profile and continue to provide honest and timely communication. My experience with AYANEO has been good because transparency is everything. I wrote them back over 20 times. They replied to me every day, no issues. So I think that was a pretty cool situation for me. I've heard horror stories. I just didn't have those horror stories with them. But moving on, with all the upgrades, make it a fair price. With the upgrades and obviously the market at the time, and also make it available in more retailers worldwide. And lastly, just take your time with the Geek 2S. Again, like I said before, having systems come out every 35, 40 minutes, that's too much. Y'all doing too much. Obviously, and listen to the community. So for now, the ball is in AYANEO's hands, and hopefully they're listening. I haven't had any issues with communication thus far, like I said. All of my questions have gotten answered when I've had them in a timely manner, and I got my device on time, as promised. Hopefully, when the AYANEO Kun, aka the Big Fish, drops, it will be a similar experience, and hopefully I'll get one of those in the studio so I can put it to the test. But AYANEO, AOK Zoe, all these companies, if you want to break out of that mold that most companies get from that region of the world, show this device the love that it deserves, like Valve did with the Steam Deck in the software department. Keep the lines of communication wide open, be honest, and be transparent at all times. Give us any good news or bad news early and often. We'll moan and groan a bit in the Discord, but we will respect you more as a company if you do those things. And then we know that we can trust you. That's just good business. If there's a delay, tell us the day you found out. If there's a great breakthrough with software or hardware or whatever, tell us the day that you found out. This is simply a great way to conduct business and build your profile across the world. These are just my thoughts, and I hope that you will take them to heart. In closing, I had a great time with the Geek 1S. It had some warts, I can't even front, but for the early bird price of $700 shipped, I think it was worth it in my opinion. Side note, when it actually shipped, it took about 10 days from the time I received my tracking number to get my device on the East Coast of the United States. Also, if you place an order with them or any other company within the region, be patient. Please, please, please be patient. Once you get your tracking number, it will take it about 1 to 2 days to get any type of movement on it. It's okay. Breathe. It has to clear customs over in that region of the world. So please, I cannot stress this enough. Please be patient with these companies. Don't harass the company in the comment sections of the Indiegogos and the Discord and all this other stuff. They're working as fast as they can. And just remember that the logistical policies and procedures are just different in that region of the world. It is what it is. If you don't like to tinker around in Windows or even tinker at all, and you just want to pick up and play, get a Steam Deck or a Switch. Stay away from any of these Windows handhelds, Geek 1S included, Ally, A1 Pro, 1X Fly, doesn't matter what it is, GPD, doesn't matter. It's just Windows is not ready for prime time. It just is what it is. It just sucks. In closing, the AOK Zoe A1 Pro is still my preferred choice as of recording this video for my handheld gaming needs over the Ally, the Steam Deck, and now the Geek 1S. Warts and all. This top spot is not permanent, so if a new challenger enters the ring with a better gaming experience for the right price, I will adjust my rankings. Because why? They're mine. This has been my review of the AYANEO Geek 1S. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section. Y'all take care of each other. Peace.